Right, good morning, welcome back. Now, a long introduction I know, but this is a video of two halves. The first half of which you've already watched. That was preparing the swing arm for installation into the bike. So done that, tick. The second was a simple skills. I want to bring to you a little simple skills technique on making a gasket. And yes, I know I've done it a couple of times already, but I want to bring it up to date right now because those watching from today forward haven't looked at the archive, and it is a great skill I think we should all have. Now, the reason I need to do it is this casing here. It's not just a dry cover that goes over your sprocket like normal. On the Triumph here, it's a wet engine casing with access to the inside of the motor, a bit like your clutch cover and your rocker cover, and it needs a proper oil-tight gasket. So I haven't got one, and yes, I could just order one and pay, but I'm trying to save money on this project, and I get an opportunity to pass on a simple skill which we should all have. It will get you out of trouble at some point when you haven't got access to buy a gasket, whether it's obsolete or you're in lockdown, there's no shops open, whatever it is. It's a great skill. So for the rest of this video, how to tap out a gasket with a wee hammer and some patience. I'll show you. Right, cleanliness is everything in this particular task. Get the surface of your casing and the engine absolutely perfect. Not a single piece of gasket debris layer whatsoever. When you're going at it with a blade of any kind, whether it be a scraper or this thick knife I use, whatever it is, just be gentle, take your time and use your patience. Do not dig lumps out of your casing because it will leak. And when you're rubbing off the last of the debris, loosen it with WD-40 and just use a Scotch pad. Use nothing more aggressive than a green Scotch Brite that you use in your kitchen. That will get it off eventually with a little bit of gentle persuasion. Don't use sandpaper or wet and dry because it will take the metal itself away and it will make it leak. And if you do it right and you get that absolutely perfect, then your gasket will seal first time every time. Right, now for this I'm going to use this card. Now this particular piece of card is the stuff that comes in a shirt. When you buy a new shirt, you take it out of the packet, that's the bit of board in the back. Perfect stuff. You can use cereal box, that's the same sort of size, A4, or you can even be posh and go and buy proper gasket card, which I've got some lying around somewhere but not big enough for this. Now, whatever you choose to use, as long as it's a millimetre thick, roughly, and it's not corrugated, because that wouldn't work at all. Anyway, got my card. I'm going to use the casing itself as a template, put it on top, draw around it, and we've got some dowels in this, some little dowel tubes sticking out, and they're a great way to locate the piece of card and we can start tapping it out. I'll show you. Right, there we are. Simple skills. Tap out a gasket. How hard can it be? Seriously, every mechanic should have that skill. It's a 5-minute task, takes you no time at all, and it costs you nothing. Really simple. If you want to do it a little bit more properly, yep, you can go and buy sheets of gasket card at different thicknesses and do it all proper. Still the same set of skills though, tap it out in that way. Now, a couple of quick do's and don'ts. First of all, don't use anything more obnoxious than a lightweight toffee hammer, really, because you're asking this perfectly machined cut edge all the way around to do the cutting. A bit like Nana cutting a pie with a knife, same principle basically. And if you hit it too hard, you're going to start putting little dents in it all the way around, and that ain't nice. Also, if it's powder coated, you'll chip it. So don't use anything more than a little lightweight toffee hammer. What you can do also is you can use some sealant. Stick the sealant on the casing, then stick the paper to the sealant nice and hard, let it dry so it's absolutely stuck. Then tap it out. That's actually even easier than I just did it. The reason I did mine dry and used the bolts to locate it, another way to do it, that was because I want to take this card off, put it to one side, then paint the casing. And when it's painted, then I'll stick the gasket to it and put it on the bike when I'm ready to do so. That's the only reason I did it dry. So if yours is ready to install right now, sealant, card, tap it out, put it on the bike, and put grease up against the engine. Not sealant, because if you put sealant on the casing and grease on the engine, the next time you take that casing off, it comes off intact in one piece. You can go make another one. Job done, eh? Well, there we are. That's it for today. I'm going to paint that and about 6 other pieces of this back end in the next video. So join me for that. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. I'll see you next time.